Brian Redman was a noted sports car driver, but had a limited Formula One career. He explains why.
They were really terrific, and in fact I drove for Ferrari for 2 years and for Porsche for 2 years, but somehow those 69 and 70 in the Porsche, which was the first time they'd won the World Championship, somehow seemed a bigger thing than when I drove for Ferrari, who also won the World Championship in 1972, and then I drove again in 73. And in both cases the teams were terrific. We had none of the famous Ferrari histrionics, the throwing and the yelling. We didn't have any of that. The team was run by the Swiss, Peter Shetty. It was superbly run. And I only met Enzo Ferrari once. I went to Maranello and I was invited to lunch, and he only spoke 2 words to me. You know what he said? He got hold of my cheek and he went, "Nice boy." That was it.
You nearly drove Grand Prix cars for Ferrari because you had a Formula 2 drive, then you had an accident which rather spoiled it all.
Well, it wasn't that. I was invited to drive the Formula 2 car, and I went to test it at Modena, and engineer Ferrari was in charge of the test, and partway through, about lunchtime, he pointed across to the trees and he said, "Brian, you see over there?" And there was this rain-coated figure. He says, "It's Signor Ferrari," to make me go faster. So I tried a bit harder, and they asked if I'd drive the car at the Nürburgring on the Sudschleif, which is still a very difficult track, uphill and downdale, and about 4 miles around instead of 8 miles around. And in practice I did fine, I was fine, the car was nice, I liked it, and I came in 10 minutes from qualifying, and Ferrari said to me, "Why you come in?" I said, "I've gone as fast as I can." He said, "Go out and try harder." So I went and drove like a maniac. He said, "You're in 10th place." And I went a 10th of a second faster, and I'd been in 4th place all along. Well, I was pretty unimpressed with this. And so in the race, I was lying 4th in a tight bunch. Jackie Hicks, the team leader in the Ferrari, was 1st. Piers Courage was 2nd in the Brabham. And Kurt Ahrens, the German, was 3rd, and I was just behind Kurt. We came past the start and finish line on the 4th lap, and I got a stone through my goggle here, and I thought it had hit me in the eye, and I braked, flung my hand up, flung my goggles off, and I was like this, and then I went around the track, another 4 miles at very slow speed, came into the pits, and Ferrari said, Brian, what's to stop?" I said, And he went, "It's okay, where are your spare goggles?" I said, "I don't have any." And he flung me Ix's spare goggles, which were dark green, and I drove like a madman, and I set a new record lap and finished 4th in the race. And when I got back into the hotel room, I sat on the bed and I just went, "I'm going to get killed," I thought. So that night in dinner, Ferrari went and he came back. He said, "Brian, I speak with Signor Ferrari, and for the rest of the year you drive a Formula 2, and at the end of the year, Formula Uno." And I said, "No." I said, "If I drive for Ferrari, I'll be dead by the end of the year."